evening and welcome to episode 107 of the HHH Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Howard Kravitz. Thanks a lot for joining me tonight. We've got a really exciting show that I'd like to present to you. A lot of news, a lot of tidbits to talk about, and the format tonight is going to be a little bit different. I'll explain all that. Please make sure you subscribe on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. You guys know the drill by now, but I know we have a lot of new viewers as well. And then you need to hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when my shows will pop up and new content will arise. As you can see on my name tag there. Also, by the way, smash that thumbs up button. That'll tell YouTube it's a great show. You can see on my name tag, you can reach me on Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter, send out a lot of information, especially in the last few days about a big week next week at Gulfstream. A lot of news starting to come out of there. You can follow me on Twitter. You can see on my name tag at hkravitz. And also feel free to email me. The scroll there on the bottom, hkravitzhorse at gmail.com. Tonight's show is going to be a little bit different. We got a lot of things to talk about. If you are watching live right now on Twitter, go over to YouTube, because if you go to YouTube, you can comment and join our live chat on the top right hand of the screen, just like Charles Blaha. Charles, how you doing? Appreciate it. Charles, thanks for joining us tonight. If you want to be like Charles and join in on the live chat, you need to go to the YouTube page. Again, you can just click on the link there and go to YouTube, or you can just go to YouTube and just type in HHH Racing Podcast in the search bar, and that way you can join our live chat, because I definitely would like to hear from you and our viewers tonight. So we've got a lot of things that I want to talk about. I got a laundry list of stuff. The first thing I want to let you know is our guest is going to be coming on about 30 minutes into the show. Kevin Kilroy does a great job at Fairgrounds. He's on the simulcast feed. He's new this year. We had him on last month to talk about the beginning of Fairgrounds, and Kevin is doing a fantastic job. You can see him right next to Joe Krustafek or John Dooley on the simulcast feed there at Fairgrounds. He's their handicapping expert. So we're going to have Kevin Kilroy coming on. He's going to be coming on at about 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So we have about 25 minutes here. And I want to talk about a lot of things. So don't leave the show if you're watching live. If you're watching this later as a replay and you're just interested in the Fairgrounds handicapping, feel free to fast forward to about 30 minutes into the show. But I really prefer you don't, because I've got a lot of very exciting news and a lot of things to talk about before Kevin comes on at approximately 8:30 Eastern Standard Time here on Thursday night. So let me talk about a few things that I'd like to discuss. First of all, we are on Spotify. Check us out. If you're in the car driving, to and from work or whatever, you're at home, you're on Spotify, you want to check out some podcasts, we are on Spotify. That is only sound, of course. So if you're just interested in hearing the sound only version of the show, of course, it'll be difficult to see replays and whatnot, but most of the show, of course, is sound driven. So please check me out on Spotify. Just type in HHH Racing Podcast after you subscribe on Spotify. And I'm very happy that we're on Spotify. You can check us out on there. The Race Day blog. I want to talk about this for just a minute. I'm really proud of the Race Day blog. You can see the information there on the screen to sign up. It does renew. It auto-renews the beginning of the month. So if you go ahead and buy the subscription now, you will have to pay again on February 1st. So you might want to wait till February 1st to do that. But the Race Day blog is excellent. Now, last week, and I feel like I want to mention this, I have a lot of people that have subscribed to the Race Day blog, and if you're one of those people, I greatly appreciate it. It's not quite growing the way I'd like it to. Now, it is sort of a dead month in horse racing between, the Malibu the day after Christmas and maybe this upcoming week where we're starting to get into the, Triple Crown preps and etc. So perhaps it's just that maybe I'm being too hard on myself. I mean, there's a lot of information out there. I get it. But the race day blog that I provide for my subscribers not only gives detailed analysis of the sequence we talk about on this show, ABC selections, but I also give out other spot plays and picks throughout the country and price plays. Those spot plays and price plays that I give out on the blog are hitting at almost 40%, which is frankly pretty darn good. Usually 30% is a good number to be hitting at. And these are prices that I'm hitting at about 40%. I gave out two plays last week at Oaklawn. We hit the late pick three for a nice, I think it was $230 for the dollar pick three, including two horses. One, which was 10-1 morning line, went off at 5-1, had about 6 lengths of trouble and finished a good second. And one of the other horses I gave out on my blog last week was Rated R Superstar. Rated R Superstar won at 25-1. I mentioned him right here on this blog. I did not talk about Rated R Superstar on my show last week. So again, if you're not familiar with the Race Day blog, check it out. It's very easy to sign up on Patreon. If you're already signed up for it, thank you very much. Tell your friends about it. I really think it's very beneficial and profitable, and it's really inexpensive. It's $3 a weekend. That's it. Less than some programs out there. So anyway, I'd appreciate if you guys checked out the Race Day blog. Um, Now, this next piece of news I have for you is really exciting for me. If you watched my show last week, I had Todd Schrupp on from TVG. And Todd did a great job. He was a great guest. He loves to talk and tell stories. It was almost a 2-hour show. I didn't plan it to be that long, but we loved having Todd on the show. Todd made an announcement. I put it out on Twitter if you didn't catch the show. Let me just go ahead and tell you and put the announcement on screen right now. Todd Schrupp invited me, couldn't believe it, to go onto his show live on TVG. And I want to tell everyone that it is now official. I'll be making my national TV debut on TVG with Todd Schrupp. It's going to be Sunday, April 24th. It is in the middle of the Keeneland meet. I'm going to be going down to Lexington, and I will be on set live. Might be a little nervous at first. Live with Todd Schrupp on set talking about, I'm not sure if we're going to talk about a pick five sequence or just one race. I really don't know details yet. I won't know them for a while. But if you want to see me on live TV, I am really excited. I can't believe the opportunity that Todd Schrupp is giving me. Listen, I have no idea where this is going to take me. It's, maybe it's just going to be a one-shot deal and it'll fulfill a dream of mine, or who knows? I don't know. Maybe TVG will like what I do. Maybe they'll get some good viewer response. I mean, I don't know. I'm a full-time math teacher. I enjoy my job very much. If something came along and someone offered me something about handicapping on TV, uh, I'd have to consider it. That's for sure. So anyway, I'll be making many more announcements as we go along, but I am really excited about that. I mean, the chance to be on national TV live. How many people get a chance to do that? So that is going to be Sunday, April 24th. I see we have some people joining the show. Christine, thanks for joining the show. Um, it's going to be fantastic. High Risk. Thank you very much, High Risk, for joining the show and appreciate the congratulations. Charles, again, thank you. Listen, um, it's sometimes not what you know, it's who you know, right? I happened to get Todd on the show. I mean, he certainly didn't have to invite me on the show. I guess I gave off a good impression, so I'm proud about that. It's going to be really exciting. Hopefully, I'll be able to give some winners. Because if I don't give winners on the show, I'll feel bad, but it's a tough game. Paul Halloran. Paul, thanks for joining the show from the East Coast. Paul, I don't know if it's cold out there in the Boston area, but it is. I'm looking at my screen here. It is 11 degrees right now here in Chicago, on its way down to 0. It's gonna be cold. It's been very cold here lately. So anyway, that's my announcement about Keeneland. Very excited about that. Okay, few other things I'd like to talk about. Let me talk about some. I'm gonna go. I'll leave the scroll of the screen. Um, two pieces of sad news that I'd like to report to you that happened actually just today. My good friend Nick Tamero, friend of the show, he's been on here a few times, does a great job uh, wearing many hats. He is currently the race call announcer at Sam Houston, which we're all very happy. Nick announced on Twitter that his father, Pat, passed away, I believe it was last night. So my condolences. I sent it out on Twitter. My condolences to Nick Tamero. If you know of Nick and you follow him on Twitter, or you can just go ahead and mention on Twitter if you want to send your condolences out to Nick Tamero, who's a great guy. I did not have a chance to meet his father, but from what everything I've heard, he was, he loved the racetrack. He brought Nick into horse racing, and we all have Nick's father to thank for that. So rest in peace, Pat Tamro. Nick, if you happen to see this, we're all thinking about you and wish you peace and comfort in the next coming days and weeks. Another passing that I want to mention was actually a horse that I saw in person in the fall. A horse that you probably wouldn't know by name, um, but you certainly have seen this horse before. I bet everyone, or most people watching the show, have seen this horse. Maybe not in person, but the reason why you've seen this horse is because he's somewhat famous. Popcorn Delights is the name of the horse. And you're thinking, Popcorn Delights. That name doesn't sound familiar. Popcorn Delights is the horse that played Seabiscuit in the movie Seabiscuit. Popcorn Delights was the actor. He was the horse that played Seabiscuit in the movie Seabiscuit. He was at Old Friends Farm, which, if you've never been to Old Friends in just outside of Lexington, run by Michael Blowen, it's a fantastic side trip you have to make if you go down to Lexington. It was my first trip to Old Friends. I talked about it in the show last fall, and I saw Popcorn Delights. Fed him a carrot. Unfortunately, he passed away, I believe, today. He was 17 years old. So rest in peace, Popcorn Delights. You did a great job as an actor playing Seabiscuit, one of my favorite movies of all time. So Popcorn Delights. Hopefully, you'll have a lot more carrots up in heaven. Let me see. We got some more comments here. Jim, thanks for joining the show. Jim, um, have you shoveled out of your driveway yet? I heard you guys got what, about a foot of snow. Jim is in Buffalo, everyone. So Jim, hopefully everything's okay up in Buffalo. By the way, love the way your Bills are playing right now. I've been a Bills fan this entire year. I think they have a huge chance to beat the Chiefs. Good luck with your Buffalo Bills. Tom, Tom is joining the show from San Francisco. Tom, let's see, great the TV debut on a Sunday. It's gonna be exciting. Um, Shirt sleeves, you son of a bitch. Damn it, Tom. We're all jealous. I'm glad you're enjoying the nice, warm California weather. Good luck with the Warriors. They've been struggling a little bit too, as long with the Bulls. Although they kicked the Bulls' ass, but the Chicago Bulls have a zillion injuries right now. I'm not worried. Once they get healthy, they're gonna be just fine. Charles, your Derby pick ready for the TVG show in April? Well, that's gonna be 2 weeks before the Derby, Charles. So I'm sure all the Derby preps will be done. I'm sure I'll have a very good idea who I like in the Derby at that time. Christine, yeah, Christine, sign up for the blog and make sure also you follow me on Twitter. Thanks, Christine. Appreciate both of those things. All right, what other things I want to mention here? Um, Originally, I was planning, as of last week, I was going to have another great guest that we're going to have on the show. I just want to mention New York Times sports reporter Joe Drape, who is a fantastic sports reporter. Uh, Originally, he was going to be on the show. Had a family conflict. I had to switch gears a little bit. He has been covering Bob Baffert and the whole Bob Baffert saga like a glove for the New York Times. He also has written a book on American Pharaoh a few years ago. Again, the gentleman's name is Joe Drape. He works for the New York Times. We will have him live on this show sometime in February to talk about Bob Baffert, American Pharaoh, and a lot of other things. He's a big horse racing fan, award-winning journalist for the New York Times, Joe Drape. We'll have him on in February. I just want to mention that as well. Um, Next week, the next 2 weeks are going to be very heavy into Gulfstream. As you can see on the scroll on the bottom of the screen there. Next week, next Thursday, we're going to have a huge show. Guests to be determined. Don't want to say who yet because I'm working on that. But we're going to have some great guests. It's going to be a huge show next Thursday night to talk about Pegasus Day. And I am very fortunate and happy to tell people, if you didn't hear my show last week, I will be at the Pegasus. I'm going to be there live to see the great matchup with Knicks Go versus Life is Good. They also have count them, six other stake races on the card. It is a gigantic card. I will be at Gulfstream along with Todd Trupp's going to be there. Matt Bernier is going to be there for NBC. I'm not going to be on air. I'm just going to be with my new friends at Adelphi. My new partnership with Adelphi. I'm going to meet Matt Couture in person and the great people at Adelphi. We have a nice table outside. Stay away from all those COVID germs. We'll be watching the races outside at the Ten Palms restaurant. I'm very excited for me to meet my new friends with Adelphi Racing. As you folks know, I have part ownership in two horses with them. So I'll be at the Pegasus. I'm very excited about that. Speaking of the Pegasus, what's happening in the Pegasus? There are horses, and we're going to talk a lot more of the Pegasus. Other than Life is Good and Knicks Go, not the strongest field. Stiletto Boy, Commander or Commandeer, Title Ready, Endorsed, Sir Winston, and Chess Chief. Listen, these are just fillers. This is going to be a match race. And frankly, this is one of those races next week where I could care less. In fact, if it was just a match race, that'd be fine with me too, because it's going to be a throwdown. So I'm very excited about that. Also, this week is Derby Pool number 2, ladies and gentlemen. The second Derby Pool, I will just say right now, I have not made any bets in the Derby Pool. Command Performance, if his price goes up, which I think it might, above maybe 40 to 1, I might put some money down on Command Performance. He was very good last year. Todd Pletcher said he's still a few weeks away from his first work, so he's a little bit behind the 8 ball, but he still should have enough time to get in 2 preps to qualify for the Derby. Again, the name of the horse is Command Performance. Very nice horse for Todd Pletcher. A little bit behind in his training compared to some others. That is I wouldn't say that's my Derby horse right now, but I'm still interested in Command Performance. All right, we've got about 10 minutes left before Kevin Kilroy comes on, and I want to show you guys a few things. I'm going to go ahead and take the banner off the screen. 1 year ago yesterday, something crazy happened, and I put it on Twitter, and I was on the Matt Bernier show 1 year ago yesterday, January 19th, and I decided, actually I decided earlier in the month, but I decided to make an announcement on the Matt Bernier show that I want to share with you a year ago on January 19th. This was my announcement that I made 1 year ago yesterday on the Matt Bernier show.
And also, I want to say, Matt, I'm starting my own YouTube channel just for fun.
Oh, good.
Just type, yeah.
Well, sorry about those ads. All right, you guys got the gist of it. Looks like we're gonna have some ads coming into the YouTube. Sorry, I announced on Twitter that I was going to be starting a YouTube channel just for fun, as I said. I had no idea what it would grow into. I put it out on Twitter. Over 45,000 views, 678 subscribers. I think I have almost 600 followers on Twitter. I mean, it's crazy what's happened. So that was my original announcement on my 100th show last month. And folks, if you didn't check out my 100th show last month, you really should check it out. It was very long. I had a lot of great guests on. We were benefiting the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation. But in case you didn't see this, I want to show everyone. And it's a bit embarrassing, but it's sort of fun to go back and look at this. And again, if there's an ad that pops in, bear with me. But I want to show you my introduction video. This was just me saying, welcome to my um, podcast. I didn't even call it the HHH Racing Podcast. I don't even think it had a name at that point. But here I am a year ago. This was my very first video that I put out for the YouTube channel. Let me share that with you right now.
Hello, this is Howard Kravitz and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, we're going to be talking about pick fours, pick fives from all throughout the country, especially the main tracks in California, Florida, and New York. I'm an avid horse player with 25 years plus experience with some great scores, including online contests through NYRA, Stable Duel, and other avenues. I've also had the pleasure of being a 3-time guest on the Matt Bernier Show, part of the In the Money Media podcast, which recently won the award for the best horse racing podcast by America's Day of the Races.
All right, see, I'm laughing because I was a little serious. I didn't really know how to handle myself. Like, should I be like goofy? Should I be serious? Like, I had no idea what I was doing. By the way, a lot of you don't know that background is pretty much what I see as I'm filming right now. Most of you, obviously, everyone just sees the background now, but what I see in front of my screen is what you guys saw there. So that was my introduction to YouTube. We get a lot of comments. I know a lot of people had no idea, um, about that. Michael Bryan is here. Michael, thank you. I really appreciate you with that. And Tom remembers that announcement. How many of you have seen that announcement? How many of you were with me from the very, 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 very beginning a year ago today? It seems like 5 years ago to me, but Tom was right there at the beginning. If anything else, well, I'll tell you what, in the chat, put in the approximate month that you found out about the HHH Racing Podcast. How about that? In the chat, when did you find out about my show, or when did you start listening to the HHH Racing Podcast? That'd be fun to talk about. Yeah, Christine, I've come a long way. And then last thing I want to show you is my very first episode. So here I'm going to show you now. This was, and I just had my 100th episode, as a lot of you know, last month. This was episode 1 of the HHH Racing Podcast. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up right now. And here it was, episode 1. Whoops. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Oh, I know. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Here we go.
With MailChimp, you can design more engaging marketing
Sorry
assets
for
in no
the,
time at all,
ads.
thanks to our AI-powered.
Good evening and welcome to Howard's Horse Handicapping YouTube channel. This is Howard Kravitz. Please make sure you subscribe down below. If you enjoy what you're watching, we're going to be doing some great handicapping of mainly pick fours and pick fives throughout the country in Florida, California, and New York, with emphasis on major stake races.
All right, so that's I'm chuckling because I mean I went from that to this is pretty good, right? I've come a long way with my delivery. It took some practice. I mean, I have journalism background, but folks, I had no idea what I was doing. None. I had no software. I had no I just put my laptop camera in front of me and just started filming. I had no idea what I was doing. But by the way, that very first show, I did a pick 4 at Gulfstream, and it hit. I put like a caveman ticket together, like $72 caveman, and it hit for like 480 or something. I still remember that. So started off well, to continue to go well. Pretty cool. Jim, I think you might have been that first live person. Oh, remember the Zoom disaster, Jim? Oof, that didn't work out too well. I went on Zoom, folks, and before I had my software, that we had some characters come in. That was not the best idea, but Anyway, high risk. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate your thoughts there. I see some people said they came in June, they came in February, a lot of other things. Um, Real quick, because I put this out on Twitter and I don't want people to think that I'm ignoring my own um, agenda. I was going to show a video, but I don't have time for it. I do want to show you very quick the Eclipse Awards. These are the, I'm going to go ahead and go partial screen here. Uh, these are the Care of Blood Horse. These are the Eclipse Award finalists. I'm just going to roll through this very quickly of my opinions on who's going to win the Eclipse Awards. I'll go ahead and go full screen. Um, who I think will win, who should win. I'm just going to roll through this very quickly. If you have any opinions on this, let me know. And then Kevin Kilroy will be on in about 5 minutes here. 2-year-old male, Corniche is going to win. He deserves to win. I don't love him this year, frankly, for the Derby, but he will win and should win. 2-year-old filly, Echo Zulu should win and will win. By far the best 2-year-old filly this year. 3-year-old male. I was going to talk about this for a long time, or a good 10 minutes. I don't have time for it now. Maybe I'll pop it in at the end of the show. This is going to be fascinating between these three. I personally would vote for Essential Quality. I think he's done the most. Medina Spirit, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with his Derby DQ or not. We're not going to know. I understand the case for Medina Spirit. Life is Good is probably the most talented of these three by far, but he didn't really do enough or win enough races to be 3-year-old male of the year. It's going to be fascinating to see what they do between Essential Quality and Medina Spirit. I personally would vote for Essential Quality. 3-year-old filly will and should be Malathot. Older dirt male, that's going to be Nick's Go, slam dunk, move on. Older dirt female should be Latruska. She had a fantastic year. Disaster in the Breeders' Cup, as I predicted and others predicted, but she should win. Male sprinter. This is interesting. I personally think Jackie's Warrior did the most. He won the most races. He was very good. Okay, he flopped in Breeders' Cup. I personally think too many voters put way too much emphasis on the Breeders' Cup itself for the Eclipse Awards. Please comment in the chat if you agree. Do the voters put too much emphasis on the Breeders' Cup in determining Eclipse Awards? I think they do. I think Jackie's Warrior should win. Flightline is a complete freakazoid and is probably the most talented horse in training. That doesn't mean he should win an Eclipse Award, though. I would vote for Jackie's Warrior. Female sprinter, I'd give it to Cece. I understand some people that would vote for Gamine, but Gamine didn't have enough big wins, and Cece beat Gamine in the Breeders' Cup. And Cece also had some other wins. Male turf horse is fascinating. Um, I think I would give it to Yabir. I know Yabir only won twice, and he won the Breeders' Cup. He also won a nice stake race at Belmont. Domestic spending just wasn't around enough. I mean, I think his last race was the Million, or excuse me, the Mr. D's stake used to be the Million, and he lost, although he ran well. It didn't run since, August. So I don't know. They might give it to domestic spending. I don't think you can give to Space Blues. He only had one race, and that was in the Breeders' Cup. He didn't even run in the United States until the Breeders' Cup. I don't like that. I wouldn't give it to him. Um, in the female turf horse, I give it to Warlike Goddess, even though Love's Only You is a favorite of mine and beat Warlike Goddess in the Breeders' Cup again. Warlike Goddess had a fantastic year. By the way, Christine, I see your comments. I agree with you completely. High Risk, by the way, agrees with me on Yabir. Um, and Christine agrees that there's way too much focus on the one day. I agree with you. I would go with Warlike Goddess personally. I don't have an opinion on the steeplechase horses because I just don't watch them enough. Owner and breeder, I would give to Godolphin. The trainer, I would give to Brad Cox. I know Steve Asmussen broke the record this year, but I think Brad Cox was unbelievable. Chad Brown was great, but I think he's a little bit of a down year, personally, for me. Jockey, I'd love to see Flavian Pratt win because I think Flavian is absolutely outstanding. It's just he races mainly on the West Coast and he doesn't get as much publicity. I'm sure Joel Rosario will get it. That'll be very well deserved. I have no problem with Joel Rosario getting that award. But frankly, I think Flavian Pratt deserves it just as much. I don't have any stats to throw your way in terms of grade 1 wins or earnings. So I didn't do the full dive on that. And apprentice jockey, I'll tell you what, I agree with you, Tom. I think it should be Jessica Pfeiffer. I know she doesn't have as many wins, I don't think, as the other two, but I think she's done a fantastic job in a much bigger circuit than what John Geraldo and Charlie Marquez did out in the, I believe they're in the Mid-Atlantic tracks, a Laurel, etc. So I would give it to Jessica Pfeiffer as well. That's my opinion on the Eclipse Awards. I just want to run that down very quick. Any comments you have on the Eclipse Awards, let me know. Michael says IRAD. Michael, I don't know if you think IRAD deserves to win or if you think he's going to win. Um, IRAD's unbelievable, guys. I can't vote for IRAD. I can't do it. I don't like his riding style right now. Listen, he's won for me a lot this year. I'm sure he's won a lot for you. He's been careless many occasions. He's to clean up his act. By the way, he is going to be riding very lightly this weekend, and then he's supposedly going to be riding a week from this weekend for the big races on Pegasus Day if everything goes well. So, but listen, IRAD's unbelievable. I just don't like some of the antics that he's pulling off right now. I'm not really a fan of that. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Kilroy should be coming on any minute now. We are waiting for him. So I'm going to go ahead and talk for just a little bit longer here. Kevin was doing a show live, I believe, right before our show. So he might be running a little bit late from that. But listen, we're going to stay on live here, of course, as we're waiting for Kevin Kilroy. We're going to be talking about the late pick 5 sequence at Fairgrounds here, folks, in just a minute, this Saturday. Fantastic sequence. It's all stakes. I know the takeout's a little bit high in the pick 5. I get it. I saw some people on Twitter talking about it. I understand. It's not a jackpot pick 5, by the way. It's a straight pick 5. I think they're guaranteeing $250,000 in the pool at the Fairgrounds. And we're going to do a very deep dive on these stake races. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to talk about that. While we're waiting for Kevin Kilroy, I'll just open it up to you folks. It's like talk radio. Any questions you have? I'll go ahead and put my banner on the screen there also to talk about what's coming up on the show and etc. Any questions you have as we wait for Kevin Kilroy, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll just leave it open to you folks. Anything you'd like to talk about, we'll go ahead and talk about as we wait for Kevin to come on the show. Let me look at the comments here. And just as I mentioned, let's talk and wait for Kevin Kilroy. Guess who I see backstage? Ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and get my screen set up here. This guy is a friend of the show. I'm going to call him a new friend of mine, even though I haven't met him in person yet. He's been very busy tonight, doing a lot of things, as you know, on many other various shows. Let's go ahead and bring him on to talk about a great day at Gulfstream. My apologies. I'm thinking about Gulfstream for the Pegasus. At Fairgrounds this Saturday, the one and only Kevin Kilroy. Kevin, how you doing tonight?
Howard, I'm great. You're not going to scratch and enter in a race in the Gulfstream next weekend too, are you?
No, but we do have to talk about that because I know there are a few horses that look like they might be escaping Fairgrounds for a little bit richer purses down at Gulfstream. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Kevin, how you doing? I know that we have you for a fairly brief period, so we're not going to do any special interest questions or 10 minutes to post. We're just going to jump right into the handicapping. The first thing I want to talk about, and by the way, thanks very much for joining the show. Talk a little about the weather because I know you guys got some rain this morning. I'm one of those weird Weather Channel watchers. It looks like you're going to get a little bit of rain either tonight or tomorrow morning. How's the weather there, and what do you expect the turf course and the dirt course to be for Saturday?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's cold. I forgot to turn my heat on before I left today, and I could have a stocking cap on right now.
Oh, wow.
We had a good amount of rain this morning, and we were off the turf today, and it was, the track ended up listed as good at the end of the day, but it seemed just pretty sloppy. We're going to have some more rain tomorrow morning, kind of through the night, and tomorrow morning it's going to get colder. Some people were like, maybe we won't run tomorrow. There's this little bit sort of
really
icky situation if it gets too cold and too ridiculous. But I think we'll be good for Saturday. It's going to stop raining tomorrow morning, and without anybody running on it these 2 days, I assume that we're not going to run out tomorrow. I think it should be all ready to go. But fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely going to run Saturday. It's
Yeah.
like Kansas City weather, right? Just it's or Chicago weather. Well, warmer than Chicago, but maybe Kansas City weather. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
By the way, good luck with your Chiefs. I think you said you were a Chiefs fan. I can't recall, but if you are, good luck. We've got a big fan on the show. Big viewer. His name is Jim. Maybe Jim will pop a question. He's from Buffalo, by the way, so you guys can
Oh,
duke it
yeah.
out on the show. But
Jim,
anyway,
sorry about last year, and sorry about this year in advance.
wow. Wow, Jim, he's thrown it down. Jim, you're going to have to respond to Kevin on that. By the way,
We
Jim,
gotta get
don't leave the
Mahomes in that
show.
corner.
Kevin's a good guy. He's just throwing a little, we're having some fun. All right, let's jump into the handicapping. I think the turf's going to be, I mean, I don't know. The inner rails, I believe the rails will be down. Do you have that information, Kevin?
Yeah, so the rails will be down. There'll be no
Okay.
none of the portable rails. So, we've been out to like 28 feet recently.
Okay.
So it should be the place to be. We saw that on if you're looking at some of these races, a lot of these horses ran on the 26th,
Yeah.
and a horse like Halo again, which maybe we'll talk about, took advantage of that inside rail, the good going there. So it should be similar. So rail horses who have speed or getting down there or able to work out a good trip down there should be moved up in your list.
Yeah, they're going to be running on fresh ground, folks, but it's cold, it's raining, and the temperature makes a big difference. I mean, because it's not going to dry out. I would say good at best. Could be yielding, wouldn't surprise me. But it's fresh ground, so it's not going to be like really chopped up and bad. It's just going to be wet. So, folks, when you handicap these turf races, and there's two of them off the top of my head in this sequence, you're going to want to look for a horse that maybe that can run with a little give in the ground, and the inside might be better. Kevin, I remember last year when I was talking with Matt Bernier about um, some races at Fairgrounds, they took the rails down, and boy, the inside was like a beautiful putting green, and the outside was all chopped up, and you definitely want to be down on the inside. So we
Yeah.
don't know exactly, but I think we would suggest you could start in an outside post. You might want to make your way down to the inside in the fresh part of the turf course, correct?
Yeah, and the jockeys that I've been paying attention to, they really feel like, I feel like they know that they know how to work with it. And I'll try to send out a photo from up above of what everything looks like, just so you get a sense of it, and I'll put it on my my Twitter account so people can see that. But also, on that 26th day, the ground was soft, even though it's not listed as soft. So some horses who maybe ran that day, like Manny Wah, who didn't run as well as they were hoping to, you might want to downgrade because a lot of people were coming up and saying, "Oh, it's softer than we thought," and our horse didn't like it. So it's something to think about.
Kevin, you're bringing a big odds. I'm just looking. I know you can't see the numbers. We got a lot of people watching live tonight. So, I mean, I know that you were a bit nervous on your first. By the way, before we handicap, one more thing. I don't know if you heard or saw on Twitter or whatever. I had Todd Schrupp on my show last week from TVG. And Kevin, you're going to have to start calling me TVG's Howard Kravitz because
Really?
no, I didn't get a job. But Todd, believe it or not, I don't know what he sees in me. He promised live and also through email, he's putting me on air, on set, when they're at Keeneland for a segment on a Sunday. How about that? How
Heck
cool is
yeah,
that?
you deserve it, Howard. This show is awesome, man. I've been watching. The Marcus Hurst show was fantastic. That's the last one I checked out. Yeah.
Thanks. So listen, I'm going to get some TV tips from you, but we'll talk later. I know a lot of people want to hear about the handicapping. Last thing before we handicap, Jim from Buffalo's got a retort. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
There you go. You can see on the bottom of the screen. He knows cold. It's Buffalo. And New Orleans did not get a foot of snow, right?
No. Jim, I do have to say I lived in Chicago a long time, but still it doesn't compare to Buffalo. Buffalo is a whole different level of cold, depressing, ridiculous winter weather.
Buffalo's a whole other ballgame. All right, Kevin, let's jump in. And Kevin, just I don't mind saying in front of everyone, give me a time that you absolutely need to leave because I don't want to. I know we originally said 9, but we're starting a little bit late. Is there a specific time?
Oh, I'm all good now. I had the thing before, but I got nothing after this, Howard. So I'm all yours. Yeah.
Oh, great. I appreciate it. We'll talk as much as you'd like then here. And I'm sure there's a lot of viewer questions. All right, Kevin, let's jump right in. Pick 5 time. It's not a jackpot. I already brought it up. So I think they're guaranteeing $250,000 in the pool. Listen, folks, Kevin has been covering Fairgrounds all meet long. So if you think his opinions are stronger than mine, I have no problem with anyone thinking that, because he's been covering he's been covering these horses, he's been covering the jockeys, trainers. Kevin, I just want to give a shout out, by the way, to you also for the great writing that you're doing as well on
Oh,
Fairgrounds.
thanks.
If you guys want some more detail from Kevin, go to I think it's fairgrounds.com. What's the website, Kevin? Is it
Yeah,
Fairgrounds?
fairgrounds.com. Yeah, I
Go
think
to
that's right.
fairgrounds.com. You click on the news, right? The news tab on the top, and Kevin has a bunch of articles. That's part of the reason why he's received the accolades he's received. He's a fantastic writer as well, and journalist, I guess we could say. So
Yeah.
there are
But props
stories.
to,
There are stories, Kevin, about these races, right?
yeah, there's stories about them, and we've got the trainers' quotes in there. And any quote that we couldn't find at this story, Joe Kay and I, we put them at the bottom for additional quotes. And those are helpful. You can kind of read between the lines and get a sense for things. But also big props to Joe Kay, because my writing is what it is because he's helping me and guiding it. So, tons of props to Joe.
Yeah, yeah, Joe Crucifix, awesome. I'm starting to go a little more full screen with our PPs, so Kevin, that means at times we're not going to be on screen, but that's probably better for our viewers anyway, because they don't want to see this ugly mug, and
Yeah,
also
right.
they want to see the probably PPs a little bit better. Let's talk about the first leg,
Yeah.
and it's not this one. I apologize. Let's go. Whoops. Yeah, it's race 10. Um, Race 10 is the Marie Krantz Memorial Stakes. It's a mile 16th, $100,000, 4-year-olds and up, older fillies and mares on the turf. So we'll get an idea. Folks, if you're only playing the pick five, I would highly recommend you try to watch the Fairgrounds races earlier in the day, because they have,
Mm.
I see 3 races they have scheduled for the turf before these, although I'm not sure they're going to go on the turf, but people should probably keep their eye on that. Kevin, you are going to start our pick five out with the number 8 horse in here. And I apologize. I saw your late email really late, so I can't queue
Yeah.
up the YouTube video. I believe it's pronounced Janelle Monáe. If I had to guess, this is a Brazilian bred 8-1 for a pretty good combination. Brad Cox and Joel Rosario making her first start here in the U.S.
Yeah, it is pronounced Janelle Monáe because that name actually comes from Kansas City. This horse
Oh,
is named after, singer, rapper, actress Janelle Monáe, who's
there you go.
she's fantastic. So, I assume, unless they just pulled this name out of a hat, but that's Janelle Monáe. She's badass, and this horse is the Triple Crown winner of Brazil. So, this is a serious horse. This is my top pick here, and some of that has to do with, I think the field is just a little bit soft in terms of my guess is that Summer and Saratoga might not run in this. Just hearing some murmurs that maybe Summer and
Yep.
Saratoga might go to Gulfstream next week. We'll see. I hope she runs because she's fantastic. But B, Janelle Monáe is a fantastic horse and a really interesting one for transferring her skills over to the North American turf game, because she's able to get out of the gate sharp and be involved in the pace enough. She's not some deep closer like sometimes we see come over from Europe or other places where they're just lost trying to keep up with our horses the way we breed them here and trying to keep up with the pace. But Janelle Monáe knows how to get out of the gate, stay involved, and finish strong. Watching her
So she's
racing.
got tactical speed, Kevin, because I honestly have not. I
Yeah.
haven't done the dive on her yet.
Yeah, totally. I know it's one of those things you're like, okay, God, I got to go type this in and find it on YouTube. But yeah, her races are there. You can check them out. She's got tactical speed. She knows how to
Okay.
be involved. She finishes strong,
All right.
and she's in the care of Brad Cox. And he says that she's just been showing her versatility. Be able to work on any sort of surface at any sort of distance. And he's just super impressed with her. I feel like I'm hoping that we can get a price, and I'm super excited that Rosario is on board for Janelle Monáe. I mean, I think this horse, could be one that we sort of make our money in the pick five with.
This is the kind of horse, and folks, I have no intel on this horse. I totally rely on Kevin for this one. You see 8-1 morning line. If this horse is the goods or really that good, you're not seeing 8-1. This horse will be
Yeah,
like
totally.
3-1, right? So I think
Yeah.
to me the board is really going to tell here. Would that have any influence you on all, Kevin? If this horse is like sort of cold at like 6, 7, 8-1, would that influence your decision at all, or you just trust what you heard from Brad Cox and your general gut feeling?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's interesting because you can get so swayed by the board, and especially with these, with a first time starter, first time North America, or just a shipper from overseas. I mean, I feel like unless I see here's the thing I'm maybe looking for, Howard, and I like that you're bringing up that you got to watch the races leading up to this pick 5, because we're just seeing some serious trends on our turf course or on our dirt course. So you want to watch how people are winning. If everybody's winning out front, then I'm going to find a front runner. You know, then I'm going to fade Janelle Monáe. I'm going to find a horse that's just got some serious early speed and really work with those horses. But otherwise, I mean, I think if people are overlooking Janelle Monáe, I think it's just because they didn't do the work, you know, and they didn't look into it and they don't trust the pedigree. But, you know, this horse, you know, coming from this Agnes Gold, who's, you know, by Sunday Silence, this pedigree's there. You know, I think we've seen a lot of exciting stuff happen from that line of horses. And I'm going to stick with, and if Rosario jumps off and we see somebody else pop on, then that's the type of movement that would shake me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fascinated with this horse. I don't know much about. I have her in third. Frankly, I haven't done the deep dive. I'm a little bit dubious. I would say for 2 reasons. One, this seems like an awfully soft spot.
Yeah.
I mean, she's really that good. I don't know. I just, there's something about it just seems, you know, you see a lot of 1-1-1. I get the Triple Crown. I mean, it's Brazil. I mean, there's not a lot of South American horses that can come here and do. I mean, Ivar did it. I mean, it's been done before, but Brad Cox with the turf horse it's very strange. The whole thing is weird. I wish them well. But we'll see. The one horse that I think we need to mention also, and then I'll talk about the other pick, the 5 horse. Actually, that is Summer in Saratoga. My bad. Let's talk about Summer in Saratoga. You've heard, she might be going to Gulfstream next weekend. They have a turf race for the fillies and mares. That's like it's for, I think, 500,000. It's like the sort of the sister of the brother turf race there. My gut feeling is going to go there, but we don't know for sure. Is that correct?
Yeah, we don't
As
know
far
for
as you
sure.
know?
Yeah. From talking to Joe today, we don't know for sure. I didn't talk to him, but from hearing, you know,
If
from
she's
the
here, she's going to be tough, though. I really like her a lot. I do have a replay. You know what? I don't even want to show the replay because we don't know where she's going. But I was going to show the last replay of Summer in Saratoga versus Catch a Bid. I'll just tell you folks that the December 26th race, Summer in Saratoga was pretty much in last into I'd say an even pace, and beat Catch a Bid, getting sort of a wide, like in the 6th path. I thought that race was pretty impressive, Kevin. So I like Summer in Saratoga quite a bit if she goes in this spot.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Summer in Saratoga?
Yeah, no, I hear you for sure. I have to admit, I did think that she was going to win by more last time. I really did feel strong about her last time, and I know that they're thinking about you know, taking her out of racing and you know getting her in the into the broodmare barn and moving forward with things. She's got new owners, you know, as of last fall. This is the first race. This will be the second race with new owners. So, you know, I'm not sure. Summer in Saratoga seems possibly a vulnerable horse in this field as well, just in terms of haven't seen her really step up and take that next step into greatness that I thought was going to happen in that last race, especially against that field. 6 runners, you know, Catch a Bid was 3rd, Bella Gamba, you know, was 2nd.
Yeah.
Horses, not great horses.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't blow me away. Listen, it's a 12-horse field. There's a lot of other horses. The other one I want to mention, and I'll let you talk about the 6 very briefly. Ken will move on. Abscond to me is the class of the field. I mean, if Abscond is ready for Eddie Keneally, I mean, look who she's faced. Abscond has lost to, you ready? In her starts recently, Going Global, Blowout, Princess Grace, Jolie Olympica, Athika. I mean, any of those horses in this spot, Kevin, would be 1-9. I mean, so Abscond is faced much tougher. I'm not sure about the yielding. That's a concern for me a little bit. And has to go a mile and 16th. I guess the extra distance and the turf course would be small concerns. But I like Abscond quite a bit in this spot. And the other horse, just out of respect, I want to mention is Adelaide Miss, who you have in 3rd, who won on the lead for Brittany Russell, very underrated trainer. Do you just like the speed angle here, or you think she may be an up-and-comer, a newly turned 4-year-old?
Yeah, the speed angle I think is great. I think those pace figures are really strong, especially compared to this field. And I feel like she's just going to improve off of those. And when you watch that race last time, she just leapt out of the gate and just basically just swam across the turf. It was beautiful to see. She feels so comfortable on the turf, and you know, there's no reason that she shouldn't keep on feeling that way. And listed as good last time. I think we're gonna have something similar. I think she's gonna relish that. And I don't think she can win necessarily, but I think that this is a horse that we want to use in our exotics for sure.
Okay. Again, Kevin, as usual, this is of course Thursday night. There's probably a lot of people watching tonight that have not looked at the PPs. But I will say, folks, Fairgrounds does a great job. These PPs were out Tuesday, I think, maybe even Monday even, Kevin. So, folks, you got to check out Fairgrounds. If you're going to bet, you can. That's a great thing. It's the only track I can think of, or major track, that really gets their PPs out nice and early.
Yeah, a week before you can find them.
Last week. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we draw that Saturday before. So yeah, it's fantastic. Morning line odds are, it takes a little bit, but yeah, they're up.
Okay. Yeah, the morning line odds came out today. All right, let's go ahead and move on to race. That was race 10, by the way. 5:23. You guys can see there at the top. 5:23 Eastern time is when this pick 5 starts. So people got all day to put their tickets together, Kevin. Let's go to race 11. This is the Silver Bullet Day. And again, Kevin's written articles, folks, about these races. So on the Fairgrounds, you should check them out. 150,000. These are for restricted 3-year-old fillies. Kevin, I'll let you talk about the importance of this race in terms of the Kentucky Oaks, because this is one of the first points races really of 2022. It's a nice field of 6. And as I go ahead and scroll to, we both have the same horse, by the way, on top here.
Nice.
Burn a Breezy. Talk about the importance of this race in terms of the road to the Oaks.
Yeah, so 10 points for the winner, 4, 2, and 1, for second, third, and fourth. And this is a nice setup. It's a nice way to go in terms of just, it's a cross between horses who are now horses who are trying to capitalize on that, and then horses who are trying to really aim for that deeper 3-year-old career. And I think that's sort of where you have to stand with this race. Do you feel like a now horse can win, a horse that's sort of unexpected and can give you a prize, or do you feel like some of these horses that are, going for that deeper 3-year-old run are ready to roll now? And maybe you and I are both thinking the same thing here, Howard, that I'd rather take a now horse.
Burn and Breezy, we've got to show this replay. I know you watched the race and etc. We don't want to put up that one. Sorry, we already talked about the Eclipse Awards. We can talk about the Eclipse Awards too, but okay, that was the race that I was going to. Here we go. All right, and by the way, great job, Churchill Downs Fairgrounds, of finally getting some replays up on YouTube.
Yes.
Because I can't show these from the PPs, folks. I don't want to get into all that. But anyway, a lot of politics involved. But you can go on to YouTube now and watch these Fairgrounds races, folks. So, by the way, if you see at the top there, let me go full screen. I just typed in, well, now you can't see it. I just typed in Fairgrounds 1220. This race happened on December 20th. Burn a Breezy is going to be way back here. You can see the 3-horse. I'll let you talk through this race. I thought this race, and apparently you feel the same way, was very, very visually impressive.
Yeah, so visually impressive. Just broke, with no hurry, just an unhurried break, and just settled back behind. And then we just see this huge move here, just this sweeping move around the turn. It starts picking them off, just pop, 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 pop. And you can see the jockey's not asking. It's just the horse running and putting herself in the right spot, gets out wide. And, here we go, watch out front, because it's all done. You can see it. And, she looks like she's running against lesser. When you see this effort, it's just such a visually impressive effort. But when you look at these horses that she beat, these are some really high value, high pedigree horses from top trainers. So this is a really good win. It's the first time that she's going 2 turns. And if she's got some pace to close into, she's going to be deadly down the stretch.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I like the gallop out. I like everything. Let me stop sharing that one. So I'm doing some clicking behind the scenes here. We don't want to show that one yet. Let me go back.
No, yeah. And
I gotta do some more. I gotta do some more stuff behind the scenes here, because we can't watch the replays off the PPs. I'm sorry, you were gonna say something?
Oh yeah. So the trainer Matt Shearer just is so high on Burn a Breezy. He's just saying that she is just looking so great. And if you're not familiar with him, he's a really strong younger trainer who used to work for Kim McPeak, and so has seen some of the best 3-year-olds out there. And he's feeling like she's going to take a step forward, and I'm excited to see that step.
Kyle is watching the show tonight. Kyle, a friend of mine, thanks for watching. Just got back from Vegas, I believe. So, Kyle, you'll have to tell us, I guess you'll tell us off there if things didn't go well. But by the way, just turned 21 recently. Actually, he's 22. Sorry. I think Kyle's 22. I apologize. But anyway, may have been his first trip to Vegas though, so we'll have to hear about that. Um, Listen, I'll take 92 all day on this horse. I like Berna Breezy a lot. I love the acceleration. I like bobblehead James Graham. Everything I like about this horse. Will she get pace? By the way, that last race, Kevin, they walked. They went 49 to the half, and she still blew by the
Yes.
field. So
Yes.
that you
Good
have to
point.
upgrade a horse against the race flow. Blew by the field. The horse that's getting a lot of attention, and rightly so, is number 5, Lacrete. 2-1 for Steve Asmussen and Rosario. These Stone Street Sables. A half to a pretty darn good horse. I'll let you talk about the number 5, Lacrete, who you actually have in third. I have in second.
Yeah. Well, real quick, and this is just me trying to change the tide here. I hear everybody say Lacrete, and I'm
Is it
trying to get
Lacrete?
people to say Lacrete, and I
Oh,
could be wrong.
Lacrete.
I could be wrong, but Clairiere is her half sister,
I'm sure
and
you're
that
right. You're the
Clairiere's
you're the
French.
wordsmith of the two of us for sure. So
No, when I was writing an article about her, I'm just gonna look this up. So Clairiere means the clearing, and crête in French means like the hill, or
so definitely. All
the
right.
the ridge, right? So but
Lacrete, I
I wanted to say
apologize.
Crete too for the island. No, I'm just trying to because everybody's saying, and I could be wrong. So if the owners could correct me, that'd be great. But
Damn
yeah,
Americans.
this horse one run, and just got out there, and we can see. I mean, this is one of the reasons I like with DRF when they label a races, it really favored that early speed, and who took advantage of that was Lacrete. Just didn't have a horse within sniffing distance of her the whole way, and for me, you just don't learn much if you're not passing horses when you're a young horse. And I want to see a horse learn something. I want to see a horse improve off that, and at least demonstrate that they know how to run in company. Now that being said. I feel like this is going to be a really short price horse that I can't get behind, but she could just wire the field. She could just jump out and take care of everybody, especially the way the dirt track has been playing at Fairgrounds. I do feel like that trend is changing with the weather, with the cold, and with the moisture that we're getting. But yeah, she just jumped out and just soared. Who'd she beat though? I mean,
That's why I bring up the chart here because
nobody, right?
she was real. We're not going to watch the replay, folks. She was geared down. I mean, she was very impressive, but the fig was slow, Kevin. And you see the horses finished second and third have not come back. The horses that have come back, you see the fourth and fifth place finisher did improve their buyer, but really only in the mid 60s. And the other three improved there. I mean, I think it's fair to say that was not a strong field. I think that's fair to say, Kevin, at least in my opinion. So,
100%.
Lacrete though obviously could improve tremendously here, and I shouldn't say I'm worried, Kevin, because I'm not picking her on top, but she might just get loose and win again. She won very easily. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of other speed in here. I guess Fannie and Freddie, right, who you have in second, and I don't have anywhere, but I might be underestimating her, is probably the one who's going to be sitting right off of Lacrete and get first jump. Is that your thought?
Yeah, could get first jump there, or maybe even just might go for it. You could see that rail draw and just getting bold. Colby's really good at letting a horse tell him what to do. North County is a really strong horse, 3 for 3, and just beat Fannie and Freddie, at the wire last time, and you thought that Fannie and Freddie had it taken care of, and that was a pretty tough field. You remember Cocktail Moments was in there, but I feel like it's a similar race where everybody was really high on Cocktail Moments, and I happened to be against her that day. I just really didn't think that it was gonna show much because she was another horse that sort of just I don't know who she beat, right? She just sort of posted a good number and really didn't but yada yada yada. But I think Fannie and Freddie could be dangerous. Has been running at this track, is familiar with the track. Al Stahl is a fantastic trainer, as we know, and has improved every time. I like a horse with some seasoning. And knows how to run with the best of them, and knows how to show her best foot. So,
yeah, absolutely. And let's just start the false rumor. Kevin Kilroy doesn't like Todd Pletcher. I'm gonna put you on camera. I'm just gonna start some crazy false rumor. I'm just kidding. Totally joking. Sweetest Pie, I have her third. I don't know how strong those races are in New York. She's gonna probably get overbet because of the connections here.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have her in the top 3. I mean, I'm sure we both agree she can win. I'm a
Yeah.
little negative to her. I don't know what it is. I don't know how good she's going to be, and she's going to be overbet. Those are my 2 opinions there.
Totally. Yeah. I think that's it. Number one, overbet. Her and Lacrete are going to be overbet. So what are you going to do, right? Are you going to take these horses? And talking to both the trainers, they both feel that these are slow developing horses that aren't quite there, right? Okay. Sweetest Pie and Lacrete.
Okay.
Seeing Sweetest Pie's sister, her name is, I've got it written down here, Admiring. She was a late 3-year-old winner on turf, right? They tried her turf the first 4 times, right? You've got it right there, right?
Yeah.
So we can see didn't win till, late in the fall there in September 21, and improved, and really showed that she what she could do. And then also looking at, Treasuring the Dam, just another one who I believe, was just more of a turf horse. So I feel like, if I could get into, or what is it? Maybe not a turf horse, but had that.
Sorry. Yeah.
No.
She was actually
It's good. This is where I'm getting information from here. So
that's okay.
But another one, let's see, she won her second race out there at a sprint distance, right?
Yeah, she ran the Starlet. She was well meant her 3-year-old season there. Didn't go
2 sprint wins.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously,
a little distance challenge. I would say it's fair to say.
Yeah, distance challenge, and seeing the sister go on turf. Talking to Joe Kay, he says that Fletcher's just winning so much at Gulfstream, his cup is overflowing, and he's just trying to find spots for all his quality horses. This horse is, owned by the Magners in Ireland, and they own the best. This is some real deal money behind Sweetest Pie, but they also have a lot of horses. So, trying to find spots for all these well-bred horses and well-intended horses, can be a tough thing, but also, why send her over here? Maybe just to get her one run to see how she fits with the field, whether they're going to go forward with the 3-year-old season towards the Oaks, or maybe they're going to turn her to the turf next time. Maybe they're going to keep her at Fairgrounds, get her on the turf and go from there. Giroux's obviously exciting to have up there. Don't see improvements in terms of the speed figures there. She did run to Nest last time, and Nest is a really strong horse that was able to win next out with some jumping figures. Sweetest Pie could do it. I get it, but I'm definitely not gonna use her on top of my win bets, and I'm not gonna single her or a Lacrette. I feel like this is a race where we might be able to find somebody who's ready to go now and isn't waiting for the development throughout their 3-year-old career. Because these top trainers, if they do have a really great horse, they really want to make sure and be slow and patient with it. They're in no rush to win, the Silver Bullet Day, right? That's not what they're jumping at. So
I think this race for me, and we'll talk about betting strategy at the end. This is a perfect example for me, Kevin, of why it's great to use the ABC ticket maker ticket, because it's only a 6-horse field, but I think you can make an argument for 5 of them, or even at least 4 of them. But you really don't want to go 4 deep in a 6-horse field. So this is why, personally for me, I'm going to use probably 2-5 as A's. I'll throw 1-4 maybe as B's or secondary selection. So I'll be using them just not equally. I'm just throwing it out there for people who don't use Formulator or Ticket Maker, excuse me. This is a race I think that just shows why that'd be a good idea.
100%.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next race. As I'm trying to find my show 107. I still can't find stuff. There we go. Listen, I don't have great By the way, I'm sure that the people behind the scenes there at Fairgrounds, you've gotten to know well, the camera people, producers, they do a great job. I think you guys have a fantastic product, and I'm not just saying that because you're on the show. So
they're great.
Shout out, as you know and as you've learned, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that people don't know. Those people work their ass off making you and Joe look good. So I'm sure you'd agree with that as I go and switch the screen.
Quincy, Ian, Sean, Lonnie, Ty, Christian on the camera, all those guys are fantastic. All right. They're probably not watching, but
by the way, if you haven't bought those guys a drink, you might want to do that. They'll make you look even better. Just a little tip from me.
Thinking about that.
All right. This race to me, I'm just going to shout it out. This has got my long shot of the day. This is my long shot of the sequence right here. And I've had some success when I've said that, by the way, in the past. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it does. This race will have my long shot of our sequence here. So you'll allow me to talk about my price in a minute here. This is the Colonel Bradley, 100,000 on the turf, mile 16th for older horses. And by the way, what we should also mention, Kevin, and you can expound on this, is sort of I don't know. This is one of the preview days for the Louisiana Derby. There's going to be another one. I think it's actually called Louisiana Derby Preview Day, or I don't know the name. I apologize. Next month, and then in 2 months will be the Louisiana Derby. So this is sort of I guess if you want to put it in NFL parlance, this is like the divisional round. Then, like the NFC championship game is a month from now. And then
Yeah.
the Super Bowl for Louisiana would be a month later. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So February 19th, we'll run the Risen Star, and all the races associated with moving these 3-year-old forward, and our other top stakes races, then Louisiana Derby Day, and yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. All right. So let's I'm gonna let you talk first. Your horse that you have in.
No, you get to talk first on this one. You've
Oh,
got the.
all
I mean,
right. I'll talk first.
I'm excited to hear.
You're curious, right? All
You
right. Everyone get your pad and pencil and be ready to write some stuff down. And then at about what time is this? This race goes off at 6:20 Eastern time. At about 6:25 Eastern time, be ready to take that information and throw it in the garbage. No, listen. Take that information, put a nice star, and then check your bank account because I'm going to give you a price here, folks. This is a 12-horse field, and there's a horse that is going to be a big favorite, lower than I think. I just want to mention this horse first because the whole race surrounds on your opinion on 2Emmys. Now, 2Emmys has run 2 buyers in the 100s. This is a horse that upset domestic spending in the Mr. D Stakes. I was there, Kevin. It knocked 90% of the people out of the pick 5. The horse was 27-1. Completely walked the dog. It was a complete joke of a pace. But I give credit to the horse. I'm not throwing shame on the horse. Just the pace scenario was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Came back and ran just fine in the Sycamore, but that was a grade 3 and lost to Spooky Channel, who I wouldn't consider a monster, and also was on the lead, albeit a little bit of a faster pace. So 2Emmys has been or was in extremely good form. Here's my thing on 2Emmys, who I have in second, who I think Kevin's going to be 8-5. Forget that 3-1. Everyone sees the 100 buyers and the Mr. D and domestic spending and blah blah blah. There's no way this horse is 3-1 in my opinion. There's no way, in my opinion, Kevin, this horse is cranked up for this race. I mean, this is just a means to an end, in my opinion. I don't maybe if you talk to Hugh Robertson, I'd love to hear what you've heard. To me, from a handicapping standpoint, as an outsider, this is a means to an end. This is a distance shorter than he wants to go. He's definitely 100% not getting the lead in this race. You see the early time for him, pace 75. There's some horses on the outside we'll talk about that I know you're interested in that are much faster early. There's no way 2Emmys gets the lead. That's what he's best at. Sure, he ran perfectly fine before the 100 buyers, but couldn't catch up to Busy Channel, who's an okay allowance grade 3 kind of horse. Kevin, this horse can absolutely win. I'm using him in my pick 5. There is no way in hell I would bet this horse on top at 8-5 in any way, shape, or form. All right, so that's why you're wrong on your top pick. Now, I'm just kidding.
No, I hear everything you say. Yeah,
right.
I hear everything you say.
Own agenda. Okay, here we go. Yeah. First of all, I didn't know the morning lines till literally 2 hours ago. Love the 10-1. I think you're going to get 10-1. I don't usually love 7-year-olds. I'll say that even though I know it's the beginning of the year. But there's 2 things I do like. Only 16 lifetime starts, Kevin, number 1. Number 2, only 2 turf races. And let me go full screen. And what did Owen Agenda do in his only 2 turf races? Came second, almost beat Monarch's Glen in 40 under, who's in this race. Actually beat 40 under, almost beat Monarch's Glen. And last time, let me show the replay. Folks, This is the last race for Own Agenda, who is the 3 on the outside here. I'm going to go full screen on YouTube. And this was against much easier, Kevin. I will give you that. But he saved ground, tipped out. Sorry, let me take off John there. And this horse does it so easily. This is like Bernard Breezy to me, Kevin, the turf. I mean, in hand, right? Like not even asking at all. And you guys watch carefully. Okay, he shakes the reins, goes to the whip once, maybe twice, but I'll just let you watch. Never really is asking. I mean, is there not more to give here? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Just this is a hand ride. Look at this. I mean, this is as easy as it can be. Galloping out, striding out great into a slow pace. Gallop out is good. Gallop out just fine. Kevin, here's my feeling, and I'll just shut up and I didn't want to do that. Sorry, I lost our PPs. That's okay. I'll bring them back. Let me bring them back as I talk here. I'm going to do multitask. Here's my feeling. There's a lot of speed in this race, Kevin. And I think this might be the best closer in the race. He's lightly raced, even though he's 7. I don't know if Onagenda is going to win, so don't put $1,000 to win on this horse, people. I love this horse, at least underneath. To throw this horse in your try keys for second or third at the very minimum. I'm going to put a small win bet on him and use him defensively on top in tries, big time in second and third in tries. I think he's the best closer in the race with a lot of speed. I love the replay. I think he's going to have a nice trip from the inside. Own agenda. Use him somewhere in your bets. There you go, Kevin. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I love that you're picking. I love that you're picking Own Agenda. I think this horse is fantastic. It's got such a great story. I mean, so Cherie DeVoe has been working with this horse, and they've been so patient with him, and they've been taking their time. And he's had some troubles here and there, and she's always wanted to try him on turf, and she finally got the chance, and she was able to do it. And she was proved right. And this horse runs fantastic on turf. That was in June the first time, and then came up and still had some more troubles, and they were just hoping to get him back up, but they basically aren't going to run this horse unless he wants to run that day. If he shows any sort of sign of not not being 100%, then they're not going to run him. And I think that's great, and I think it's beautiful. And he's working really fast, and Cherie doesn't ask him to work too fast in the morning. And
I was going to ask you, Kevin, I hate to interrupt. Are you there in the mornings? Have you seen any of these horses work out? I mean, I see when a turf horse breezes in 48 twice and is second out of 123. I mean, that raises my eyebrows when it's a turf horse. Have you seen these horses work in the morning?
Yeah. Oh, see, I've got the problem where I'm there and I'm watching them, but I don't know who it is. I'm just like watching these. Like Nick's go. I've got him picked out of a crowd
for sure.
But
but the works look outstanding. I mean,
the works look outstanding coming into this. And this is when's the last time we saw him? We haven't seen him run 2 races, in a row to really improve off a layoff. Like we like to see a horse do, since 2019. So I love this pick. I think this is a great pick. I feel like we just haven't seen him run against this sort of competition, and that's my question there. What do you think about the pace figures? So, I mean, I like looking at these pace figures, and the late pace figure that we see, that 112, which could be improved upon because, like you were saying, he wasn't asked. There's more there. But
there's more there. I have 2 concerns. I'm not sure about the yielding turf. I have no idea how he's going to – I think it's going to be wet. I think it's going to be wetter than people think. I don't know how he's going to handle the yielding turf. Number 1. Number 2, this is much tougher. I mean, he's not beating Attorney Tim. No disrespect to Attorney Tim, who's a decent allowance horse, but this is a much tougher field. There's no question about it. But I like, he's bred in Europe, so you would think the off turf wouldn't be a problem. I don't know. He's interesting. Let me stop yapping and talk about your horses here. You have 2 horses that I have nowhere on the screen. Did you want to say anything else about 2 Emmys, by the way?
Real quickly,
do you have any intel from Hugh Robertson?
If you're interested in Own Agenda, there's a great podcast called Fairgrounds Racing Podcast, and Chad Schnecksnyder, who's on the Steve Big Show today, brings up Mike DiLiberto, who's our morning line maker, and they talk about the races. So they go over this whole card, but then also he's got one fully devoted to talking to Cherie DeVoe, and you can hear all about this horse. So check that out for sure.
What is that again? Where do the people go for that?
Fairgrounds Racing Podcast. You can find it on Spotify or just on your podcast app. Fairgrounds Racing Podcast.
Any intel you have on inside info on 2 Emmys, and then we'll talk about your second and third choices.
Yeah. So talking to Hugh, he feels 2 Emmys is a small horse, and he feels like he'll be able to keep his fitness off that last mile and a half and bring it into this race. In terms of wondering if 2 Emmys is going to be sharp, having not raced since October, if this is a prep. He feels like there's just no question there. He does say, though, 1 1/8 or more would be ideal for 2 Emmys. So this could be a little short, right? Yeah. This could be a little short. Last time going 1.5 miles, 1.25 miles before, 1 3/16. This horse can definitely go long. But if you just watch that last race back and you see 2 Emmys move, I mean, sometimes you just have to, it's like watching any sport, right? You just watch a team and you're like, oh, that team's legit, right? 2 Emmys is legit. You watch 2 Emmys come out of the gate and make his move. He's for real. And Busy Channel's good, Spooky Channel's good. Domestic Spending's good. These are the horses that I feel like 2 Emmys is in conversation with. And I keep on thinking that because that Mr. D was so disrespected, that win was such a walk the dog scenario, that 2 Emmys is going to be a fair price, going to be an overlay at 3-1 for me is what I'm hoping. right?
He
We'll
he
see.
might be.
We'll see how it goes. We'll
Like,
see how it
listen,
goes.
he can win by 4. Listen. I'm not an idiot. I'm using him. I mean, he's the
Yeah,
best horse in the race.
yeah,
I'm interested in some others. You're in some others too.
yes,
Um,
yes.
and
Yeah, we're thinking
we
the same way. Who can
I
come
feel
off the
like I
biggest?
hope we're not talking too long. I'm fine, Kevin. We're going over the time that we allotted, but we have the
Okay,
same people watching now that were watching when you came on. So
okay, good, good, good,
I
good,
think a
good.
lot of people are enjoying these opinions here. Um,
Yeah, so Lucky
Lucky
Curlin.
Curlin
What about Lucky Curlin?
and a name that, well, I'll wait to say it because I love saying that name for obvious reasons. Talk about Lucky Curlin first.
All right, so I watched Lucky Curlin's races back, right? And
Sure.
this is a horse who has continually just shown his ability to run in the crowd, run in big traffic, not be upset by any scenario, whether there's horses on the outside of him, whether there's horses on the inside of him, and be able to find his spot and make a good charge towards the end. I love the fact that last time out he was at a sprint distance, and now we're going to a route, so he should be able to be, not too far off the pace, be involved with it, because there's going to be a ton of pace. There's 7 horses in here that, theoretically could send, right? 7 out of 12. And I feel like this horse is going to just be ready to roll late. Watching, the end of the last race, we could see Lucky Curlin still hold interest. And I don't know if you have the race pulled up, but he has a total excuse in that last race when he was facing Just Might and Manny Waugh at the sprint distance here at the Richie Shearer. The one Grinning Tiger just like leapt in front of him, just like jumped out. I think the horse was about to clip heels with the horse in front of him, leapt into his lane, and cost at least 2 lengths, maybe 2.5. Right in the start, right behind the live oak trees of Fairgrounds, and Lucky Curlin was out of it. It was done. So
Okay.
far back against a sprint field. 5.5 for a long turf sprint, but still was able to show interest at the end. And pick up, and knock off some of these horses. So I feel like this horse, 2 times out, Mark Cassie's great with this angle sprinter route. Pedrosa knows the course. I would love to see if Drew would have got on Lucky Curlin. I would have been like, oh, damn, here we go. This horse is really something. But I feel like this is a horse I definitely want to use in my exotics. Can Lucky Curlin win? I would doubt that. I really don't think so. But I'm pretty sold on 2 Emmys, so I'm trying to think who's underneath.
Sure.
You've
He's
definitely
gonna
talked me into
close.
own agenda for sure.
Yeah, he's going to close, right? Lucky Curlin. I mean, he's interesting. I definitely interesting. I'm a little concerned about the distance. I mean, it looks like he's best sprinting. They've really kept him short distances, but maybe he's ready for the stretch out. And if you are a fan of
Yes.
Jimmy Walker and
Yes.
you are about my age or older, and you
Yes.
watch Good Times from the 70s or 80s, Dynamite.
Yes,
There
there
you
you
go,
go.
right? Listen, that was a horrible impression, but I had to say it.
No, that was good. You hit it. That was really good.
Talk about
Yeah.
this horse, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, look at these pace figures. I mean, last out, look at that. 133, 133, 127, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the outside draw is tough. I think it pushes the hand, especially at 40 under, right there too. But DeSormo has been just sneaking up on people at Fairgrounds and really putting some horses in front of them that people haven't seen coming, and we'll talk about another one soon. Those pace figures make me think that this horse has no other option. But also watching Dynamite's races, this horse will never let another horse pass him. Never, unless he just goes full tilt and has to stop. Right, that's the only scenarios. I think Dynamite could be the one. And sometimes you see this, right? You got a bunch of jockeys, they're sitting around, they're like, we've got 7 front running horses. So who's going to send, right? Who's going to be the boldest one?
There's quite a bit of speed. I mean, you got the 12, you got the 11, we didn't talk about Bodie Cream. I mean, he's got to go.
Bodie Green, yeah, but Fade.
I'm just going to scroll through. I mean, this horse, Excess Magic, is not a speed horse, but is tactical. 2 Emmys will probably be more like mid pack. So there's a horse on the Cavalry Charge, likes to be a little bit up front. Halo again went on the lead last time. I mean, there's got to be. I've said this a zillion times and been wrong. There's got to be pace in this race, doesn't there?
I think so. I mean, the article I wrote about it was just like, how wide is the wall going to be coming around the turn? It's going to be like 7 horses going around.
And that's why I like own agenda a little bit. I mean, I like the pace flow.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think you want to use one of the front runners, and if you have to use one, I say watch Dynamite's races. This horse is speedy as all hell and doesn't let horses pass him, so he might just take it all the way.
By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Gary McIntyre. I'm not sure I've seen your name before on the show, and if you have been, I apologize. But Gary McIntyre, thanks for joining
Good
the
point.
show. He likes those were slow fractions. By the way, Kevin, you know why the 11 horse doesn't let other people pass him when he gets the lead? Do you know
Because
why?
he's racing the horrible field.
No, because he's dynamite. That's why.
Now you're
All
in. I
right.
like
Anyway, I think I just lost 5 viewers. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. The two biggest races of the day we haven't even really gotten to yet. So let's go up before it turns into 11 o'clock at night here. Uh, Let me go to the banners here so we can see our picks. Race 13, Louisiana Stakes. Boys, this race is getting a lot of pub and for good reason. They're going a mile 16th, grade 3, 150,000, two absolute monsters that I'm going to selfishly, again, no disrespect to Fairgrounds whatsoever. I would have liked to see at least one of these in Florida next weekend just to make that race more competitive. But
yeah,
Kevin, I completely understand why they're not going there and they're going here instead. Chess Chief, by the way, this is going to be a scheduled for a 7-horse field. Folks, Chess Chief was just announced, I think yesterday, is going to the Pegasus. By the
yeah,
way, Raylu is riding Chess Chief in the
yes,
Pegasus next week. The
yes.
two horses we got to talk about are the obvious ones. Mandaloon, Even Money, Brad Cox, Giroux coming back from a long layoff. Last seen in that very interesting Haskell race. And then Midnight Bourbon, 6-5, Asperson, Rosario. To me, disappointed. I really liked him, the Clark. I was disappointed. Who of these two do you like? We both like Mandaloon more.
Oh shoot, I should have. Sorry, I must have mistyping that. I like Midnight Bourbon
Did
more,
I
but
screw that up? I thought you said
no,
2-3. I could have been
it
wrong.
was it's my fault for sending those picks so late, man. So I
Okay, no
apologize
problem.
for
So
that.
I'll switch it as we're talking. You've got Midnight Bourbon on top. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I like your line of thought when you're saying like, why aren't these horses facing Nixco and Life is Good, right? Why aren't they in the Pegasus
Yeah.
next week? Well, it's because this is a prep, right?
Yeah.
This is a prep for something else, and they both say it. This isn't like being conspiratorial. Both trainers have said like this is a prep towards something else. Asmussen spells it out, like he's like slows you down, grabs you by the ear, says, "This is a prep." We're hoping to run, in the Saudi Cup for $20 million, right? Both these horses are pointing in that direction. And
Yeah.
here's my thing. I think,
Let me
and
go
I've
to
watched
Midnight Bourbon. Sorry.
this.
There you go.
This is Midnight Bourbon versus Mandaloon 6, right? Let's talk boxing. This is another heavyweight bout between these two. And for me, I think Mandaloon's gotten the better trip, time and again against Midnight Bourbon, including the Kentucky Derby, right? And has followed Midnight Bourbon. And when he's been able to, he's been able to pass, but it hasn't always been the case. It's hard to know how that Haskell is going to shake out, if Hot Rod Charlie didn't pop over and clip heels. But I do think Mandaloon had Bourbon beat that day. But I think the blinkers are on is really interesting. Asmussen saying that he feels that Midnight Bourbon still has more to give, and this is just going to sharpen Midnight Bourbon up. And the fact that he's got that race, he just ran November 26th. This is great. Second off, he's fit, he's ready to roll. He went to the lead. He's going to do it again, but with more, just with more, right? And Mandaloon hasn't raced since the Haskell. I think Mandaloon's just going to be a little bit slow and just a little bit off, and just not going to be able to take Midnight Bourbon home. So that being said, I like your line of thinking. If these two horses are really just not trying to win this race, they're just prepping for something else. Can we find another horse in here? Is there another horse? Where would you go if you had to go across, away from these two?
That's a great question. Let me just put my 2 cents in,
Yeah.
and guys, Kevin can take a little crap because I've never met him personally, but I get the vibe and he knows my vibe. We're just giving each other some shit sometimes. Let me tell you why you're wrong again, Kevin. Okay,
Yes.
about Midnight Bourbon. Okay, just kidding. Listen, I have to say I'm a little down Midnight Bourbon because last time I'm a little bitter. I singled him. I thought he was going to beat Maxfield. To me, he was disappointing. One race, of course, you have to go back a bunch of races. I'm not stupid, despite what some people might say. You can't just look at one race. I will say Midnight Bourbon's been a little bit slow out of the gate. If you watch carefully, he has not been sharp. Now, maybe the blinkers are going to help that. But, Kevin, I just, in general, don't like when someone like Steve Asmussen, who's one of the best trainers in the world, finally decides blinkers on after 13 starts. It's just a little like they're trying to, like they're searching for clues. I don't know. It's just a
Like
little
it should be the
weird to
opposite.
me.
They should take the blinkers off after 13 starts. They're maturing. You don't need them anymore, right?
Yeah,
But
it's like like they're trying to find that extra, few yards that maybe isn't there. I don't know. I'm sure Asmussen is correct. Just it rubs me the wrong way. Number one.
What about Vino Rosso? And what about Bayern? You know, what about these horses that when they did put the blinkers on a little bit
Never
later in
heard of them.
the
Yeah, listen, every horse is different.
no, yeah,
I
Bourbon
don't
could
know.
be the next next step, you know?
Maybe I could be complete. Maybe this horse is gonna run off the screen and run a 110. I don't know.
Yeah. But talk to
That's
me about
one thing
Mandalorian.
I'm a little bit. By the way, I thought he'd be the morning favorite. I'm a little surprised that Mandaloon's favored over him. Not that it really matters much. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, I am
Um,
too.
reason number two, I like Mandaloon more is I think there is some speed in this race. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but Sprawl needs to be out there on the lead. I mean, Sprawl is a
Mm.
speed horse. I don't, unless they're just going to give the race to Midnight Bourbon, CJ Hernandez has got to go a little bit, right? You would think. Pirates Punch is definitely a speed horse. I mean, he used to be really fast. As he's gotten older, he's not quite as fast, but this is really more of a speedy kind of horse. Warrant is not going to be, Warrant will be a little off the pace, and Spa City is a little off the pace. So I think Pirates Punch and or Sprawl might keep Midnight Bourbon busy. Kevin, I'm not going to say there's a speed duel, but they might be on his flank. And as you know, because you're an excellent handicapper and you've watched a zillion races like I have, they don't have to be going fast. It's really more like, is the horse uncomfortable on the lead, right? So if
Yeah.
he's got someone beside him going 48, that's sometimes worse than a horse just on the lead by himself. See Nick's Go in the encyclopedia, going 46, right? So I don't know. I think Midnight Bird might have some company. I love the way Mandaloon's working. He's going to get a perfect. I have a hard time believing he's not going to get a perfect trip on the inside. It's just going to be a question: is he ready and can he find room? For me, at a price that I think is going to be slightly higher than Midnight Bourbon, I don't know. I'm going Mandaloon. Obviously, Midnight Bourbon can win. Um, that's my thought there. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone else can win. You asked the question. I don't see anyone else can win. I'd be completely shocked.
I'd be shocked too. Yeah,
Yeah.
he could get softened up, you know, and Sprawl's a good point. Pirates Punch, I'll tell you what, Grant always says that this as Pirate has matured, he just is able to run with the target and is able to relax, and
Fair point.
that's no problem. So Pirate might not send along with him, but
Okay.
you look at that last race and he set great fast fractions up front, you know, but did he tire at the end? Yeah, and he got beat by some closers. So I mean, Pirate could go a little bit slower and run off the pace, but yeah, I haven't seen him win doing that, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's these two, and by the way, there's no way I would use both these horses equally in any ticket. And we're not going to have as much time to talk at the end because we're going to move on to the last race here. But
Yeah,
let's just hope they both run well, Kevin, and let's hope they both show themselves well in Saudi. I think we can definitely say that for
yeah,
sure because
yeah.
they're going to be huge factors in the Saudi Cup. All right, let's go to the last race of the sequence. The last race is the one that is very popular for people that enjoy the Derby because this is the prep, a prep for the Derby. It's Lecomte's Grade 3, 3-year-olds, mile to 16th. $200,000 is the purse. It's a field of 9, and we are quite a bit different. You can see in our picks there.
I definitely had a typo. Sorry, I had a typo for you. I'm 3, 5, 8.
Okay.
Again,
folks, I did this very quickly. He might have emailed me correctly. I literally did this 2 minutes before the show when I saw your.
I sent
Sorry
you that
about
late.
that. 358. The magic of live TV. I'm switching it right now. I love this software. Thank you.
This is that.
By the way, it's called StreamYard. StreamYard is the
stuff.
software.
Well, maybe I should bet Blue Kentucky now. Now that you put him up there for me, maybe Blue Kentucky's my guy.
Before we talk, real quick here, Blue Kentucky is going to be scratched for Catalano. That's what I read. Did you hear that too?
But then Catalano, you know, the Catman's like, no, he's not scratching.
Oh,
he's not scratching. So, but that was on Twitter. So, you know.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I don't think Blue Kentucky's a factor. I just want to mention that I heard he's going to be scratched. Papacat, very good last year. Finished second twice. Your top choice. Lost to Corniche. And is coming here from the West Coast for Mark Cassidy and Joe Bravo, who has been his regular rider, gets the mount here.
Yeah, I love that these two races are right next to each other because last year, what did we see? We saw Mandaloon, Midnight Bourbon, eventually Hot Rod Charlie come through Louisiana, come through Fairgrounds. I think we're going to see Papa Cap and Epicenter be really similar. These two horses are going to exchange races. They're going to win one. They're going to lose one. and they're going to move through, these 3 races and go to the Kentucky Derby. And it's these 2 horses for me. There'll be some other ones like Proxy who will sort of pop their head in there and make an impact. But for me, Papa Cap is the horse that's ready to roll now, and Epicenter is going to, just be right there. But, seeing these pace figures from Papa Cap, I feel like he's got tactical options. I think he's going to be able to run well with the target. I think he had a little bit of an excuse there. When they were entering the turn, Corniche got in front of him, and he had to get, Bravo had to grab hold of him, and he definitely lost a length at least there. I think Corniche would have won no matter what that day. Corniche is really, really, really stunning. But I think Papa Cap is just a little bit more seasoned, has run against better, and should be able to take advantage of just knocking them off late and just rolling down the stretch. And yeah, Cassie seems like he's committed to keeping Papa Cap here throughout the 3 races.
And you got Epicenter, who I have on top, who I just loved. We're not going to show replays, folks. We're getting late here, but I loved Epicenter's last effort in the Gun Runner. I know he got a great trip. I believe, by the way, Kevin, he's 15-1 morning line in the Derby pool too, and getting a lot of buzz right now for Asmussen.
Yeah, and Epicenter looked awesome last time. Looked awesome. First time going 2 turns and just really, just took it to him and had so much more to give there. I wouldn't be surprised if you see 100, next to Epicenter, in terms of a buyer figure next, after we see this race. It's also great to watch that the race 2 back on November 13th. On that same day, he beat Surfer Dude just so easily that race. And then, 3 races after that, we could see another horse in this field, because we got to find something else, right? Call Me Midnight was racing on November 13th, and seemed to race against, not quite as quality of a field. Ran just a little bit slower. Looks like about 3 lengths slower from looking at the times. But ran from off the pace and really looked good. This is a horse that Joe K hit me to. I was totally fading this horse, and he was talking about it today. And I'm like, oh, shit. Because he talked to Keith DeSormo, and he said he made a mistake. He shouldn't have run 2 weeks off of that November 13th effort. It was just way too quick to bring Call Me Midnight back. And he just didn't show what he has to show. So we don't see that step of improvement. We really don't know how much he did improve between that race and what would have been the next race after it. So we could easily see, an 88 to 90 buyer out of this horse, which would put him in contention. This could be a long shot play, but definitely a horse you want to think in terms of your exotics. This is all credit to Joe K with this one. Call Me Midnight is
Joe Chris. By the way, Joe K is Joe Krustafak. He can spot out a horse. By the way, I think DeSormo's got another horse that's going to be coming to the Fairgrounds this spring that I like more as a closer, and that's Oviat Class, who's been running out of California. I'm curious to see if he comes to up your neck of the woods. Listen, call Me Midnight if he improves. I mean, the Midnight Lutes can get 2 turns, as we've seen. This is an interesting horse. Let me give my 2 cents on Papa Cap. We'll show our tickets and end the show. By the way, greatly appreciate all you guys staying on, and really appreciate you, Kevin, because you're staying on for like an hour. But you have the time. You said you love talking horse racing.
This is fun, man. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Listen, here I go again. Here's Howard going off the deep end. The price on Papa Cat is ridiculous, and I'm gonna tell you why, in my opinion. Okay, his last 2 races, dream trips. Now I hear what you're saying. We're not gonna show the replay. Kevin's exactly right, guys. In the Breeders' Cup, you can watch the race. I mean, I could actually, let's cue it up real quick because it's easy to go to. If you watch here, just watch the first turn here. Papa Cat's the 4, folks. Let me fast forward a little bit.
Yeah,
watch what happens to Papa Cat on the turn. You see he's comfortable. When Corniche comes over, he's got to watch. It's coming up here in about a second. Right. He's going to grab right here. Right there. See, he had to grab and steady back, and the horse's mouth was wide open. Now, after that, Kevin, it was an absolutely perfect trip. He just followed.
On the rail.
On the rail, just followed Corniche around. Guess what happened 2 starts back? He wasn't on the rail. He was just sitting outside of outside of Corniche on a speed favoring track, just followed him around. I have no doubts, Kevin, that Papa Cat has got talent. I want no part of this horse. I wouldn't put a win bet on this horse unless he was 3-1. He's gotten 2 dream trips on the inside. Maybe he'll get another dream trip. I mean, what has he done that's so special other than finishing second twice to Corniche, who, in my personal opinion, is overrated. So if you folks agree with me, then you understand why I'm saying that. You could go be the other way and say, Howard, you're nuts. Papicat's really talented. He finished second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He's going to win for fun. I have no qualms for anyone's going to say that. I just strongly disagree. The horse I'm interested in this race a little bit is Trafalgar. I'm not going to talk too long. I like the fact that you showed different styles, Kevin. By the way, I know Alstall likes this horse, and you can mention what Alstall said too. He's by Lord Nelson, who was a really good sprinter, but Alstall says that he's really built more like a two-turn horse. And when you watch him run, Kevin, I'm sure you agree with this also. He's like a really big, like muscular, like mean son of a gun. Sort of looks like a mini Midnight Bourbon to me. 2 starts back, closing into a fast pace. Last time, it doesn't look great. The horse looked goofy to me. He was like looking around. It looked like the horse was never used to being on the lead. Completely idled, in my opinion, Kevin.
Yeah,
I think
he did.
Al
Yeah.
Saul said the same thing to you. He's been given time since. He's been working well. You can get the 2 turns. You're going to get a bigger price. I see no reason why Trafalgar isn't as good as Papacat in this spot today. Maybe not going forward. I'm interested. Tell me what you think. And if I'm wrong, feel free to tell me so.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. This is why horse race is so great, because I just have, a different opinion about Trafalgar. So that last race, it was such a slow pace. He was able to just sit right behind the front runner and pass him, at will. Of course, I forget which horse it was who was setting the pace, but nobody special. And yeah, he just idled out there and got lazy and slowed up. And then here comes Naval Aviator, a horse who has 2 steadies in that race, right? And also went wide. Here comes Naval Aviator. We haven't seen Naval Aviator run since, so we gotta wait for that to see really how this sort of flatters or doesn't flatter this situation. But Naval Aviator was coming with everything and he just hung next to Trafalgar, and Trafalgar was able to get the win done.
Or did Trafalgar fight back? Or did Trafalgar fight back?
That's what I love. That's what I love.
Folks, watch that replay on your own, folks. Yes. Go to YouTube.
Yes.
Go to Fairgrounds. Just put in December 2nd. Race, where is it? Race, shoot, I don't see it now.
I know they don't see the race number on there.
Oh, they don't have it on there. Okay, well, anyway.
I think it's like the 8th race, 7th or 8th race. Pretty deep in the card.
Find the race, folks. You tell me, did Trafalgar fight back or did the other horse hang?
Right.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah. It's worth talking about, though.
No, totally. That's it. I think that's it. Like, you see the same situation and you've got to have an opinion about it. And it's one or the other, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you think he fought back, then you think he's got grit and he's going to show something and he's going to be something special. But also look 2 races back. This is something that our photo guy who does all the photos at Fairgrounds, Mark, was talking to me about. That race set up with all these 2-year-olds who went so fast early. Yeah. It was some of the faster speeds that he had seen at Churchill Downs. And they just all fell apart late, just early horses who went so fast. And who took advantage of that? Trafalgar, Trafalgar came and cleaned up the pieces and got the win there by 2.5 lengths against a bunch of, just a meltdown, a pace meltdown situation. So this horse could be something special. You know what? I think if he was really something special, Rosario would still be on Trafalgar, and we wouldn't see Colby Hernandez up. But how does Rosario get
Rosario's
away from
on Epicenter? I mean, he's not going to go off of Epicenter, but that's a fair point. Listen, Trafalgar's got to step up. I mean, it's funny because I've been so critical of trips, right? And Trafalgar's actually gotten 2 great trips the last 2 times. So I guess I'm talking out of my ass here a little bit. But
that's how it goes, right?
But I think Trafalgar's got a lot of upside. I think I don't know if we've seen the best of Papacat, but one is 8-5 and one is 5-1. I mean, and again, this is a value game, right? So I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I don't know if he's good enough to win. I'm intrigued.
And we don't know what's up with Gunrunner 3-year-olds. That's going to be the big question this year: is how are Gunrunner 3-year-olds? Where are they going to mature? What are they going to do? So there could be something to go against. But I mean, Gunrunner got better as he went longer. So I would think the Papacat's going to.
I totally respect people who are only going to use Epicenter and Papacat. Like, that makes complete sense to me. I'm just interested in Trafalgar.
Hell yeah.
But I'm going to use the other ones, of course. Kevin, here's your listen, folks. You don't have to have big budget to play this pick 5. Look at this pick 5 from Kevin. $18. $18. That's it. That'll buy you good thin crust pizza, according to Kevin, maybe on Twitter, from Pizza Hut, and who knows what else. Talk a little about your ticket. You are singling 2 Emmys. Is that correct?
2 Emmys is a single for me here. I mean, and this could be, why if I do hit it, it doesn't pay, or why I don't hit it at all. You know what I mean? This could be for me, I really see these races as just having some standouts that I don't want to invest too much in this pick 5 because I don't think it will pay that well. So I think singling with 2 Emmys, I think using the logical, Midnight Bourbon, Mandaloon. You talked me into Own Agenda, though. I think it'd be hard not to have Own Agenda. Maybe, definitely a B, but yeah.
So this is I think, well, let me show my ticket. And do you have 5 more minutes, Kevin?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, man, you're my new best friend. We're gonna have you on many more times on this show. And by the way, give a little thumbs or shout out to Kevin if you're on the live chat, because I think he's doing a great job and does a great job, and so happy that you've come onto the racing scene here. Let me talk about my pick 5, and I talk a lot on the show about ticket construction. I don't think enough shows do that. I'm not saying my show is the best out there, but I think a lot of people spend all this time handicapping. You don't talk about ticket construction.
Well,
And
yeah.
I have to say, Kevin, I was a horrible ticket constructionist my first 5-10 years of betting, and I lost more money than I should have. I go to the OTB with friends, and I have a friend who's older than me. It said, Howard, on it, and I'm not blowing smoke up my ass because I'm also criticizing myself. He said, Howard, you're the best handicapper I know. And this was only like my, maybe 7th or 8th year, like into deep dive handicapping. He said, but you always walk out of the OTB losing money. And you know what? He was exactly right, because I was a horrible bettor. Here's my K-Man ticket, and obviously it's more expensive. That's not my point. My point is, folks, if you're going to single, how do you single, or where do you single, or what do you do? Now, just my opinion, Kevin, feel free to retort.
Yeah.
2 Emmys is a possible single, no question, right? Mandaloon / Midnight Bourbon could be a single. I think Epicenter / Papacat could be a single. I think we'd agree those are probably the only likely singles. And I bring this up because not everyone's got a big budget, right? People want to go smaller. In my opinion, Kevin, if you're playing a caveman, folks, and again, I only play ABCs, but if you're going to play a caveman, there's zero reason, no disrespect to Kevin's ticket whatsoever, zero reason to use both Midnight Bourbon and Mandaloon when they're both going to be even money and you're doubling your ticket. Now, that being said, Kevin's ticket is only $18. What's another $9? No big deal. But if you're playing like a $30, $40 ticket, it makes no sense to me to guarantee yourself getting through the sequence by doubling your ticket. The reason why I would single Mandaloon and or Midnight Bourbon is I don't think anyone else can win that race. So to me, Kevin, in my mind, that's a 2-horse race. The 2 Emmys race, I think 4, 5, 6 of the horses could win that race. The LeCompte, if it's not Papacat or Epicenter, I think Trafalgar could win. I think maybe Call Me Midnight could step up. They're 3-year-olds. I don't think it's a 2-horse race. So, folks, in my opinion, you should single in the race where you think there's the least amount of contenders. And for me, that's the Midnight Bourbon Mandaloon race. Tell me what you think about that, Kevin, or what would you recommend for people constructing their tickets in this sequence?
Yeah, I think that's really well put. If you see that there's going to be some, potential value in a race like the 2 Emmys race, where we could see something surprising and 2 Emmys could sort of, fall on his face or just be caught behind a bunch of pace, or all the scenarios with a bigger field that some value could come through, then yeah, you want to be able to express that and put that into the ticket, and because you'll get paid on that. You'll get paid on that. I think that's 100%. And really good. And I want to hear more about how you made that jump from being somebody who had good opinions, leaving without making money, to somebody who started to, I know you've made some good scores, right? How to come out of that. So maybe that should be another show. But I also have to admit, I'm not sure, and this is just me talking as a person and not as an employee of Fairgrounds or, Twin Spires or anything like that. I'm not sure if this is the best pool to play, because the way I'm seeing it is I do feel like a lot of logical horses are going to come through. We might see a little bit of chalk fest. And so therefore, I think, and this is how I play, a little bit stronger, I think I might be looking into the horizontal wagers for a few of these and trying to bring some value up through there underneath as opposed to on top.
You mean the vertical wagers, like tries?
That's what I meant. Yeah, vertical. Okay. Sorry.
Now listen, you can also play the $18 ticket that if you like Kevin's opinions, play it for 3 times, right? That's $50.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can hit it for $1.50, right? I mean, it's a pick 5. It's going to pay something. I mean, it can't pay, and it's the biggest card of the weekend by far of anyone's country. So the pool size it's the biggest card you guys have had so far. It's going to get the most attention. Hopefully everything will be on turf. Will be fine. I mean, the pool sizes are going to be plenty big. But that's sort of why I go against Papa Cat and I try to beat it to him. He's like, I'm trying to think out of the box, and I can
Yeah.
lose my ass on Saturday. But I tell you, if I hit Kevin, I'm not going to be hitting for $80. If I hit, it's going to pay.
Yeah, you're not gonna be hitting
And
for
that's my
1,000.
logic, for better or for worse.
Yeah, you'll be hitting for 5,000 or more. If you can get those horses out of there. If you can get Papa Cap out of there, hell, if you can get two Emmys out of there, yeah, yeah.
Christine, I'm not saying this just to, I'm putting up a bunch of comments, but thank you very much, Christine. Yeah, I mean, I will just say flat out, Kevin might hit this ticket, and I could be completely wrong, and I'm fine with that. I can live with that.
Right.
But I mean, why pay a ticket that's going to pay? I'm not saying Kevin's ticket can't pay, but
No,
and also, by the way, I can be a chalk eating weasel too. I mean, like next week, I can tell you right now. Let me ask that question to end the show. I'll put you on the spot. We don't know post positions. I talked about the rest of the Pegasus field. Pegasus field.
Let's go.
It's going to be 8. There's going to be 8 horses. The other 6 are just fillers. I just tell you right now. Knicks Go or Life is Good. You got Knicks Go.
Knicks Go, 100%. I should wear my Knicks hat right now. I've got a Knicks hat. I like the
That's
Knicks.
just because you've seen him work out, right?
Oh, that dude, it's just one of those horses. Life is Good is super impressive.
Life is Good. I'm just going to say, go ahead, Knicks Go. Just take the lead and beat me. That's fine.
Knicks Go just won't. He's just a destroyer. He's a 100% battler. He just knows how to put a horse in his place. It's a social thing for Knicks Go. He's just one of those absolute 100% alpha muscle heads who's just going to take it. 100%.
I'll just say one. We're going to talk about, by the way, check out my show next week if you have time, next Thursday night, where I'm great guests, deep dive into the Pegasus, which, by the way, I'm going to, Kevin, so I'm really excited about that.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm just going to say, listen, Knicks Go is amazing. I'll just say one thing. Last few races, he has not taken pace pressure. He's been fantastic. There is no chance in hell Irad is going to be anywhere more than a length off of Knicks Go. And that is going to be a complete throwdown. I can't wait, Kevin. Yeah. I told people on air, I'm assuming you feel the same way as we end the show. If that was just a match race, I'd be fine. I like big fields. If it was just the two of them, yes. I'd be Seabiscuit, War Admiral, I'd be totally okay with that.
Oh yeah, our sport should do that. We should be doing that more often.
Kevin, this is going to be these 1-2 around the track, right? I can't imagine it's going to be anything unless they go 44 to the half or something insane. It's going to be these 1-2 around the track, and it's just going to be who wants it more at the end. I can't wait.
Totally.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great. All right, Kevin Kilroy. Man, we went on. That's okay. We still have as many people now as when we started. Kevin, thanks a lot for coming on the show. I'm going to take you off screen. If you could stay on for literally 20 seconds after I wrap the show, I just want to talk to you for just a second. Any final thoughts about Fairgrounds Saturday, people to look for, or what's coming up at Fairgrounds in the coming weeks?
Just pay attention to how the track's playing. If you don't have time to watch all the races, look at the charts and just see, are we seeing speed front running horses? Because if so, you can just toss half the field sometimes. So and vice versa on turf. We've been seeing a lot of off the pace wins, going down the center of turf. So just pay attention to how it's running, but then also be ready for it to shift on you if we do see some crazy stuff in between Friday and Saturday. So just stay on your toes with how the track's playing.
Terrific. Kevin, thanks for joining us. You do a great job. We look forward to hearing you and watching you on Saturday for a fantastic Pick 5. Take care. Have a great night. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Howard. See you all.
Right, bye-bye. All right, that was Kevin Kilroy, folks. We're going to wrap up the show. A lot of great viewers. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the show, make sure you subscribe right there. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the notification bell. Purchase the Race Day blog, yada, yada, yada. Watch the first half an hour of the show. I talked about a lot of fun things. This has been Howard Kravitz, episode 107 of the HHH Racing Podcast. 1 year ago, we started the show. 1 year later, we are going strong. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a fantastic evening. Good night.